Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
So I think, yeah, we are on the clock, so let's get started. Any last people know? Today we'll be talking a bit about advanced e-commerce with Joomla, redSHOP and redCRM, but also try to talk a bit about doing e-commerce seriously, and consider some of the aspects of e-commerce that are quite important. But we'll move along to those parts. It's a bit of an ambitious agenda I've set up for this session, so we don't have a lot of time. But some of the slides used to be 7 or 8 slides, and now they are 1. So some parts will be a bit quicker. Come on in, have a seat. So, but a bit about me. My name is Ronnie. I'm the founder of redWeb APS, which is a Danish company. We have 4 different branches. redWeb, which is a primarily Scandinavian consultancy business, serving clients in Scandinavia, but also some European countries and a few American. We also have redcomponent.com, which is where we share all of our extensions we built for our consultancy clients. That's basically the model. And then we have redhost.dk, which is a Danish Joomla hosting company, and iredhost.com, which is just the international version. I have 19 years of experience with web and IT in general. I started building web pages in 1993, professionally since 1995, early 1995. I did the first CMS and e-commerce system in Denmark back in 1997, and 1998 it was approved by the Danish Bank's payment system as the first real CMS and e-commerce system. I have done, I don't know, 1,000 web shops plus. I've worked with a lot of different systems, so I have a lot of experience doing e-commerce at many different levels. So today we'll be covering these areas, which is e-commerce in general, just a few pointers, Joomla Webshops and why we built redSHOP. Then we'll move, after the base of redSHOP, we'll move into a bit about storytelling and segmentation of users and try and put more abstract level on e-commerce. We'll go into something about business intelligence, analytics and reporting, and make a foundation as to why an ERP CRM system is interesting. And then we'll move down to redCRM, which is our future release extension for redSHOP. A small note, when it says redCRM, it should perhaps be another word, because it's not a CRM, it's not an ERP system, it's both. But then it's integrated to a SaaS solution ERP with dumping accounting data for accountants to use. But the aim of this, as we use them, is to pretty much replace all other systems that you would use on a high-end, big-scale e-commerce system. So with the clients we're using it on now, they only work with Joomla, redSHOP, and redCRM. They don't work on their ERP systems or CRM systems or anything else. So all their old systems, their old servers and everything got kicked out, and now they just got one dedicated server with everything on it. Our biggest client using this are selling security shoes and stuff like that to the Danish army, the postal services, the airports and stuff like that. So we're talking hundreds of thousands of pairs of shoes every year going through this, but we'll get more into things. To start with, I brought up some old statistics, and I did that to kind of prove a point. This is 2000, these numbers are back from 2007, 2008, and Forrester Research and the Gartner Group were forecasting how much e-commerce would grow, and those numbers turn out to be too low. But some of these numbers are funny, like North America's share will approach 2.8 trillion of market revenue. Europe will grow 2.3, Asia will account for 900 billion, Latin America 124 billion. But all these numbers turned out to be too small, and now the scenarios are even bigger. So what is e-commerce? Well, e-commerce is actually, it's selling products, it's making money, and it's a huge market. And of course today with all the integrated services, It isn't just a web shop on your Joomla site, it's also supplying outlets to a Facebook page or a tab on Facebook that also uses the same products from your Joomla site, or it's being fully responsive and offering a web shop running on Joomla that actually caters to any form of platform or OS or screen size or whatever. So we have to be ready to integrate to a lot of things, and part of doing this is having the right foundation. Now, in a Joomla webshop, you can say in general, there's a lot of e-commerce options for Joomla. I think the e-commerce area of Joomla is today the most congested or competitive area for Joomla. That's where you see the most extensions, the most big extensions, and also the hardest competition. And that's a good thing, because that means that all of us that are in this market, we need to do better. We need to invent new stuff, we need to do something better than the others are doing, and also get inspired and find different niches and going after different segments and everything. So we have some cleavages in that though. A lot of the e-commerce software has different needs it caters to, and a lot of the extensions in Joomla is actually software. You download an extension, you install it in Joomla, and it's software. Whereas our approach is not making software, it's making a toolbox. And also we don't build software for you, we build software for us, and then we share it with you. So the stuff that I build a 45-person Joomla company that only works with Joomla and major clients in Europe, it's the same software that we offer to all of you to do the same. So if we can do it, you can do it. That's kind of the concept. And we didn't think up of all the features. We let our clients come in with inputs and feedback, and then we created what the clients needed. Of course, our job is to look ahead and figure out where things are going and how could we do it right, how could we do it as flexible as possible. But that's kind of the key thing, a system versus a part of a system. A lot of e-commerce in Joomla is standalone. It does this and only this and inside the box. But today an e-commerce system is not a standalone system. It's part of a system. It needs to integrate. It needs to send data. It needs to receive data. It needs to be on social media. It needs to be available in a lot of different platforms. So, but what we do especially today is the high-end custom web shops. I don't think we would start an e-commerce project today in a consultancy business unless it was $15,000, $20,000. They would go somewhere else. So we do a lot of big jobs, hundreds of thousands of products, a lot of integrations and stuff like that. But that's also the fun stuff to do, so that's pretty good. Now, as I said, redSHOP is a tool for web shop builders and not a fixed software. It's fully native in Joomla. And part of the magic of the toolbox approach is that if you know how to do template in Joomla, if you know how to do like a simple template in Joomla, you know a bit of HTML and CSS, you have complete freedom. You can do any kind of web shop you want to do, because all of the different views are 100% natively overridable in the normal Joomla templates. And you also got the CCK approach, so you can go and create a new field. It could be category fields, product fields, user information fields, user input fields, a lot of different types of fields, and all of these fields are directly accessible at the template level in Joomla. So the best Joomla templates for redSHOP is actually just template overrides, the HTML folder for redSHOP, and you've got the complete freedom to do everything you want. And you don't need to use a single line of PHP, because all of the custom fields are being inserted as new tags you can just enter, like normal HTML tags. Now, that of course means that it's highly customizable, because you can change pretty much any view you want to. So, but building a web shop is not just about having some software, it's also about having some tools to sell stuff. Like if you're not selling stuff on your web shop, then it doesn't matter. It's important to get people to your web shop, but it's more important to sell something. And then it's even more important to sell more. That's why people want to get a web shop. So to take e-commerce seriously, we also need to give features for people to sell more. And one of those is something as simple as action emails. I think when we built action emails into redSHOP, there was one other open source system on the planet that had it, and that was the enterprise, well, it wasn't open source, Magenta's enterprise version, which isn't open source. It had action emails too, But basically, consider you have 10,000 orders a year, and now you have an option to send up to 3 automated emails to your clients after each order. The first one could be after a week, saying, "Hi client, thank you for buying with us. We're happy to have you as a client. You could go and review us here." Then after a month, you send them a mail saying, "Oh, it's a month since you did your last order with us. Here's a 5% discount code." And you can do it again after 3 months. Now consider if you have 10,000 orders a year, and you send these 3 mails out. It'll take you 20 minutes to do them, and then it's just automated. It happens by itself. Well, you might see your turnover increase by 10% or 12% by sending out these emails automated. It's a very simple solution, but it's just doing what's available, and considering e-commerce is business. It's not a website. It's not a web shop. It's actually running a business. So you need to do the same things you would do in a normal retail store. So that's one example of how to increase turnover and thinking about e-commerce in a different way. Another example is looking at segmented newsletters. A lot of businesses are making their profits on newsletters. If Webshop didn't send out newsletters, they wouldn't be making profits. That's how it is for a lot of small and mid-range web shops. So a lot of the bringing in the customers for an additional order and doing added sales is from the newsletters. So people would send out a newsletter to 10,000 people, and for me, if I go online and buy a pair of jeans for my 6-year-old son, and then 5 days later I get a newsletter with 7 dresses, I'm thinking, this is not relevant for me. Why am I getting this newsletter? So 3-4 days later, I get a new mail with 7 blouses for girls or something, and again I'm thinking, why are they sending me these letters? It's strange. So the relation as a client I have with the web shop, or the web shop has with me, is getting worn out. So for every newsletter I get that's not meant for me, that's not following my interest or my historical shopping pattern, we're tearing down the relation and the loyalty of the user. So we need to be smarter. We need to segment the newsletters, the receivers. So we could go in and pick, say, anyone that's bought between 3 and 8 orders in the web shop, or bought from between $80 and $180, or bought from a specific product or specific category. A lot of products like the 2012 model, the next year there will be a 2013 model. If you send out an email to all the people that bought the 2012 model, you will see your sales ratio on that newsletter will go up by a factor of 20 or 30 compared to a normal newsletter. So the turnover or the outcome of each hour you invest in doing newsletters will drastically increase, and you won't wear down the relation to your customers. So you will keep your customers for a longer time because it's relevant what you send to them. So having these options, and now let me just say, redSHOP is not a newsletter campaign system. It's not. It's business intelligence enabled for segmenting your users. But then you should push them to AC mailing or something else that's meant for doing real newsletters. You could phrase things. Yeah.
So this segmenting you do based on the purchase behavior. So you don't have to ask the customer any questions because people don't want to give you necessarily information, right? But
we have the demographical data. We use postal codes, or states, or countries too. But then we go in and we use directly the shopping history of people. So if I send out a newsletter to everyone that bought jeans for their 6-year-olds with a new pair of jeans on 20% sale, the chances of me actually selling jeans will be a lot bigger. But it's a very simple concept. If you went into a jeans store 50 years ago, the guy owning the store would come up to you and say, "Hi, welcome to my shop. So what are you interested in?" "Well, I'm interested in jeans for my 6-year-old. So I'll buy a pair of jeans and I'll come back 2 months later and you'll see me and say, 'Oh, hi Ronnie, do you want to look at jeans today?'" So we used to have a relation with our customers. We used to polish on our relation. We used to build up a long-term relation where we would sell more to the clients because we got to know them. But 9 out of 10 people that has a retail store, when they get a web shop, they forget everything they know. They're completely blank. They had something on the internet. They sell something. But But that's part of it. So we'll quickly go on. One of the next things, of course, that's really a key aspect is search engine optimization. But it needs to be something you can use. So what we did in redSHOP is when you're inside the normal product handling, we did the fourth tab is called SEO. So you want to do new page titles, page headings, the self URLs of the primary category relation or metadata, etc. Then you do directly from the product handling page. You don't need to start up a new extension or go somewhere else. It's available directly on the same page. And we're supporting SH447. SH447 supports a lot of extensions, but we kind of took over the control. So you don't need to control redSHOP and SH447. You control SH447 from redSHOP. So, but in the new version, when 1.2 when it comes out, we also got canonical URLs, and that's pretty important too. But the SEO handling is critical, and you can go into the configuration of redSHOP, and you can build your own rule set by simple tags to decide how you want to do your SEO, your page titles, metadata, everything, and that's efficient. Now, another thing is, right now we've got an integration to economic.com. Economic.com is a simple SaaS solution for ERP systems for doing accounting, to do fully automated accounting. We have more ERP system integrations coming. I know here in the States there's another big one. Right now you can use it through WebGility, that's something called ECC. It's also supported in redSHOP, and it's also integrated to a few other American systems. We've got more of these out-of-the-box SaaS solutions. Yeah.
What about QuickBooks?
Yeah, QuickBooks. Today you can do QuickBooks integration through WebGility's ECC, but we're doing QuickBooks at some point too. So it's the biggest one. Economic is like QuickBooks in Europe, in Northern Europe. So and we use it ourselves for accounting and stuff. So that's pretty much where we started. So we built it for ourselves and then we share it. Yeah. So, but it's important to have things like this because when your web shop is a success, you don't have time to do manual administration. It needs to be automated. You need to spend time doing newsletters that are segmented and not spend time doing invoices by hand or transferring data. So, but it's mainly European currently, but it's quite advanced actually. You can create your product groups here and you can do it in your accounting system. You just click synchronize and it will populate the ERP system with all your products. Because it's easier doing products in redSHOP, doing virtual variants in the attribute system than it is doing products in the ERP system. So you just create everything in redSHOP, click a button, it will synchronize everything and create all of your product catalog in the ERP system. And redSHOP is 4 to 5 times quicker working with than the ERP system. The people doing ERP systems aren't really thinking about user friendliness or how quickly you do things. So we have a lot of features in redSHOP. I'll just go through them very quickly. You can find them online too. But there's a ton of features. If I do a full session on all the features in redSHOP, just going through them and showing people, just quickly, it'll take me 7 hours or so. So there's a huge amount of features. I think redSHOP is perhaps the biggest component that was ever built for Joomla. So it does say something. Now in the future for redSHOP, we've got even more integrations coming. We've got an automatic updater on redcomponent.com that can upgrade everything on the site. We've got technical documentation coming. So basically we're rewriting all of redSHOP for redSHOP 1.2. Throughout everything. We're estimating a code reduction of 50 to 55%. We're doing a lot of work in terms of scalability and optimization. So now we're running web shops with 100, 200,000 products. We want to run web shops with millions of products. So it needs to be even better, quicker, higher, better, and everything. So some of the other things we have coming is content styling kits. So we will be making in the next 6 to 12 months content styling kits. So whatever template you're using, you go in, you get a content template styling kit, you just install it and it works right away. Yeah, that was kind of the redSHOP 1.2 is coming out in April 2013 because we decided to, 1.0 and 1.1, we learned a lot. But at some point it gets to be too much patchwork, so you need to put everything back on the table and redo it in the right way. That's kind of where we are now. Now, when you run a web shop, you need to do storytelling. That's the only factor, basically. If you don't have a clear concept of why you're running a web shop and which story you're telling, you're not going to be successful. Discount is a story. So if your story is getting containers from China and selling them for nothing, then that's a story in itself. And your design has to be like that. It has to support and underline your story. If you're selling cheap shit from China, your web shop shouldn't look like it was a diamond store in a fancy place. It has to work out. We have a client with a website that's called the Price Pressure in Denmark. The web shop looks like shit, but the conversion rate is 5.35%. So, and that's a pretty high number. It was some 3.5% when we took them over and migrated them to the redSHOP solution. Then we started doing A/B split testing and pushing the numbers up. Then in the end we put in remember, free shipping for all products, just as text in capital letters at the product page just above the add to cart button. We went from 3.5 to 5% conversion rate. Just a small thing, but it's really important to test and
What do you use for A/B testing that works well with redSHOP?
Well, we'd do it kind of the hard way. So we would get in like Google's A/B split test and we'll set it up. But the thing is with redSHOP, because you can change all the templates. Say you want to test a product page, you just create a copy of the product page, and then you could do 1,000 with one and 1,000 with the other. So you could get some numbers. And today there's a lot more easier tools like SaaS solutions, online services, where you could put a small JavaScript code on your site and you're able to do it remotely. So it's becoming easier. We are working on trying to implement an A/B split test solution inside redSHOP to make it even more easy in the future. But on the start side, you need to figure out who are the persons you're going to sell stuff to. What's their background? What's their history? What behavior do they have? How did they react to different aspects? I have a client that sells couches for living rooms at $30,000 a couch. I'm not buying a $30,000 couch. I can honestly admit to that. I'd rather have a functional one that's comforty and everything. But they sell couches online at $25,000, $30,000 each. But that's because the entire storyline about the web shop is modern Scandinavian design and everything is high quality branding and that's how it's supposed to be. So their clients or customers goes to the website and they see everything and they get some sort of added value to their life of buying a couch for $30,000. And that's fine by me, but if the site didn't support that scenario and that storytelling, they would never sell couches at that price online. So it needs to be a full story. Shipping cost is a solid storyline too. I've seen examples of women going to shop and buying boots that was more expensive than other places because they got free shipping. And it's around 15-20% of customers has shipping as a high priority. So they would actually buy stuff that's more expensive due to free shipping. So if you remove the shipping charge and put it on the products instead, you might sell more. So you need to realize how your customers react. Now, so basically, it's build a unique web shop. Use the toolbox to make it uniquely fit the segments you're targeting. And if you want to target two segments, and one is deluxe goods and the other is discount, then do two web shops. Don't commit a web shop suicide by interchanging or blending your storylines. It won't work. It never works. So do two web shops instead. It's a lot easier. So build the loyalty user base and consider the relationship with your customers and keep on working on it. Now, the last point is value synchronization, which is kind of CSR 2.0 or marketing 3.0. That to start with, when they sold cars, they would say, yeah, it's a whatever engine and it does this and this and this. I don't know a lot about cars, so. But then the second generation, there would be a picture of a man with a car and two girls, and there was one girl too many. So if you bought the car, you got the girl kind of storyline and advertising. and now it's something. That's how it was. So but now it's different because in marketing 3.0, it's about a value balance between your values as a company and your clients' values. So you need to make sure to keep your clients in the long run and keep the loyalty of your clients in the long run. You need to make sure that the synchronization between your value sets And a lot of people today, they will have so many options of where to buy. So something like the values, you know that the company you want to shop with shares the value you do, is much more important. So I think in 5 years, I don't think that Apple would be producing iPads in China, because the American user base would demand that it's produced somewhere else where people don't kill themselves going to the job and stuff like that. So the value part is really a big factor, and it's coming through right now. That's kind of the hottest shit on the market right now. So yeah, sorry for my language, but I'm Danish, right?
Fuck it.
Yeah. So but on business intelligence, which is kind of a step on to that, and moving on to CRM, ERP, and doing data, doing analytics, and pulling things together. I think use the data loop, because you have to realize what data do you have and how can you use it. You need to use the customer demographics, customer shopping history, customer behavior, newsletters, offers, modules, and everything so it fits together. Or as the small monkey with the banana kind of shows quite clearly, if you get a monkey coming into your web shop, sell him a banana. Don't try and sell him a $30,000 couch. Match things to the clients. That's a pretty good idea. So,
question?
Yeah.
Can you go back on the slide?
I hope. Yeah.
On the customer behavior, how is that different, customer behavior from shopping history?
Well, basically, it is the shopping history, but if you utilize some of the more advanced features, like if you let customers tag up products, if a customer with a certain background goes in and sees a product, he would call it, let's say he used the word brilliant, then other people with the same socio-economical background and worldview and way of perceiving everything would use the same word in the same context of the same relation to a product. So utilizing features like that, you could get people to contribute to a web shop. Another factor would be reviews. So you could get people of a certain segment doing stuff to your web shop, attacking it up, whatever. You get other people acting on their behavior. If you start to register and record what they tag things with, like today in redSHOP, you can enable a tagging feature so people can be allowed to do tagging, and that works. We haven't built the business intelligence part into it yet, where you can actually segment people and what they tag it to, but that's, we're storing the data and everything, so we could do that. So that's kind of moving on into the business intelligence side and doing it more intelligently, more smart. So, but we need to move on. A lot of slides to go. So analytics and reporting, use the data loop again, but that's kind of the mantra. Collect the data and start using it. Be smarter about it. When you got all the data, you need to have means for visualizing and aggregating data. You need to have easy access, reporting, analytics, so you can actually, you don't get a report 4 months later, but you can in real time go in and see what's happening. What are the flows, any products that suddenly not selling as they're supposed to, products selling better, what's the most selling products and stuff like that. But it could also be different things. It could be, look at where do you deliver to? Is there certain regions where you deliver more products to? Are you hitting a certain demographical area better than others? Because this data would be something you could use to maximize your performance in other areas where you weren't doing as well. So there's a lot of potential in starting to collect data and getting them out on the other end. And part of that is, of course, also getting integrations through ERP systems and CRM systems, and then pulling out the data again and actually visualizing it, aggregating it, and making it work together. So basically, as I write here, knowledge leads to success if you use it, of course, but that's a pretty important factor. So in the future, like today you saw Louis Landry talking about integrated systems and web services, and yeah, there's no doubt everything is web services today, because you cannot have isolated systems. It just doesn't make any sense any longer. You need to have everything interconnected. Let's say I wanted to do a web shop fan page on Facebook that showed my redSHOP catalogs. I could do that rather simply. I could actually do a new template output that would fit inside an HTTPS SSL based fanbook page. Rather simple. I think we do it in a day's time maximum. I could also decide to send it out through web services, this small XML engine built into redSHOP, so I could push it out to a small mobile application to do catalogs in a mobile application. That would be pretty quickly to do so. There's a lot of options, but you need to keep the options available. And part of this is also that today there's a lot of systems available as services, as software as service systems, where you can get access to a lot of knowledge. Some of it could also be like Crazy Egg or other solutions where you monitor how people use your website, which area they're clicking on, get heat maps for users and stuff like that. Google Analytics, of course, offers a lot of data, but there are even smarter ones out there. So you need to kind of pull in all of these things to maximize your performance as a web shop owner or web shop builder. It's like when you build a web shop, if you just do the design implementation and you're done, that's a pretty short client relationship. But if you do conceptualization, wireframing, strategies, design implementation, and then afterwards you actually start doing some numbers on what's happening, how they're performing, A/B split test, etc., etc., etc. Then you're in a scenario where you have a constant relation with your clients. So instead of finding new clients every 4 weeks, you're having the same clients for 4 years or 8 years. So it's a bit different kind of scenario. Now, the funny thing with business intelligence and CRM and ERP system is that independently, a lot of these systems are not that important. A lot of ERP systems are good at containing numbers for accountants. They're very bad at showing usable reporting and analytics you can get up and you know what you're supposed to do with it quickly. But if you integrate the systems, it will be a lot better. Now, the real-time business intelligence is a huge factor. If you get data with 4 weeks or 8 weeks delay, you will never be able to do anything meaningful with it. You need to have quicker response time, quick access. A very important factor in building redCRM was actually the multi-centric systems. A lot of systems today only has one view. You go and you have debtors, and you can only look from the debtor view and down, but you don't want a single centric system. You want a multi-centric system where you can follow an order into a delivery place, into users on that delivery place, or a debtor into the individual contact persons from the debtor, the different departments you're delivering to, and the orders for each department. So you want to be able to change the focus when you go down through the system. That's kind of what we worked on with redCRM too. Of course, today with POS, point of sale systems, retail systems, and all the other places, we really need to add in the web services to get those kind of data back to your intelligence platform too. Now, in redCRM, as I just said, it's a multi-centric CRM ERP hybrid, and what it does is, when you install redCRM, you extend upon redSHOP. So instead of having a simple stock system where, yes, you're putting 100 units into storage, they just have the same price. When redCRM is installed, you will have 100 individual entities. So there's complete cradle-to-grave system. There's real-time calculations of cost price based on FIFO principle, which is first in, first out. The most SaaS ERP systems does not do FIFO principle-based cost price calculations because it's too hard to do. But we're doing all of that right now in redCRM too. Now, the biggest advantage at all is your employees or the people working with the web shop will only work in one system. And it's a flexible system. So if you want to add something, it's very, very easy to do. If you have an ERP system supplier and you want them to do something, it'll take you 2 months and you'll get billed half a jet or something. Because that's the way ERP systems work. They're used to slow processes of doing not a lot and yeah, taking a long time, very expensive. So let's go into redCRM. I decided, due to the time limitation, to do some screenshots basically to show some of what's in redCRM today. This is the dashboard overview. There's this little language string here missing, but that's basically the overview. Configuration, statistics, product debtor, supplier, shipping destination, orders, stock rooms. In the stock rooms, you also do stock room positions. So all your products would have stock room positions assigned to them. So if you're doing packaging notes, you can go around to your stock room and you can pick up all the elements, and you can, in order, you can build your products together for the order you're sending. Now we have an import and export too, which is quite important. We built a feature into redCRM so you can take a CSV file with 100,000 product lines, and it will summarize all the products for each supplier and create a new supplier order and enter all your products through the supplier order into redCRM. If there's any negative adjustments, it'll automatically, like when you do inventory status, you got some losses or something's been stolen or broken or whatever, it'll automatically do all the negative regulations too. So just feed it a CSV file, 100,000 lines, it does everything automatically. And that's pretty easy. Now you're saving a lot of time, so go back to building individual newsletters and segment and sell more and let this be automated. The configuration is pretty simple. There's a bit more under here, but like, do you want to enable the return management system? If you do that, you'll get a big RMA button, so you can do return management directly in your ordering system. Do you want to do complete cost price calculations, stock rooms, and individual item tracking? Yes, then it'll go to a cradle to grave system right away. So you can enable or disable these options. But they're quite simple compared to the redSHOP configuration, which is 12 tabs and will take you 2 hours to go through if you want to do everything. This is very simple to do, but it extends upon redSHOP, so it powers on redSHOP. Now, if going to the statistics at first, what I tried to do was take some screenshots and put them all in one slide so I didn't get so many slides. But basically, what we do is we have these advanced filtering options. And you can go and pick like total debtors, top 25 from all date range. And then it'll do a pie chart, and you can mouse over, it'll show specific information, and go through the list. It'll also do an output below, and the output, I've anonymized all the client data in these screenshots, so there's some white areas, but you'll have to live with that. But then you can see what's the percentage of things and how are you performing in real time. You just go in and click and it delivers it right away. There's all sorts of different statistics. This is product statistics, and you see again the pie charts, and you get all the data table outputs. You can instantly print them, and you can send them to a CSV file or to Excel directly, so you could continue working with it if you wanted to. There's a custom reporting too that's a lot more advanced, because you can decide you want to display products, or how much the product is in percentage, or how much the profit is contributing to your total profit in your webshop for the range you're in, how much revenue you're doing, and you can of course filter it on shopper group. There's complete business to business shopper group integrated. You do per country, debtor, or whatever. And again, all the data will come out and it will show how it's performing, and this is the data you need to change the direction your web shop is going in. If you have these data and you use them consistently, you will notice changes differently. If suddenly a product group starts to underperform, you have hardcore facts and you can do something about it. If you just have a notion or an idea of what you're doing, and you find out 6 months later there was some mistake on some product information, so you didn't sell 10,000 products, that isn't funny. You want to know right away, you want to act right away, because it's big business, it's a lot of money. So you need to know, you need to have the tools to do this. There's even more like calculation options, display options. You want to show available stock or disposable stock. You want to show incoming supplier orders. The supplier orders incoming, that's products coming in. Now if you want to do new supplier orders, you can actually go in and create a new supplier order, and you can start by adding all the things that have been bought by customers that's pre-ordered, so it will fill up the supplier orders by all those data. So again, you don't have to manually enter them, they'll all already be ready on your supplier orders. So a lot of these things are high-end ERP systems for big scale e-commerce. If you're selling 500 products a year, you probably don't have systems like this. But on the other hand, there's no open source software that offers these kind of options. The people that has these kind of options and features are people with ERP systems and web shops, e-commerce systems that will run you $200,000 or more. So there's no availability on the open source market for tools at this level at all. So some of them are getting some of the tools through the integrations to the SaaS systems and stuff like that. But I think the most important factor is actually having everything you work with at the same place, because you don't want to have your employees using 5 or 8 different systems. You want to pull everything into one platform so it's available right away. The product management in redCRM, you can do all the product management in redCRM, and the filtering options are a bit more advanced. You can do things a bit more, there's new features coming in, but also it extends on what you can do in redSHOP. It just gives you more filtering, more options. The same on the debtor management. You got a lot more filtering options. You can do contact persons and departments and everything. So there's a lot more. Now this is an overview from the debtor management. And normally you would have a few fields, but here you also got over on the side. You can see you got the historical orders for the debtor. You got the contact persons. You got the shipping destinations. You can add new shipping destinations, etc. And you got links to statistics for the specific debtor in the bottom. So if you go into debtor, you want to be able to change your centrics, your focus, and access orders, contact persons, shipping destinations, etc. right away. You don't want to have to go back or into another system, into another website, and get things there. You want it available right away. Like with the product management page, the category pages, the manufacturer pages, you want the SEO tab to do it right on the spot when you're working with it. You don't want to go to a different place. Did you have a question?
Yeah, is there a way of putting like multiple SKUs? Like we have a part number, and then we have an internal part number, we have a manufacturer's part number.
Yeah.
And we might have multiple part number from another supplier.
Yeah.
Just whenever space.
In redSHOP, you have, for product handling in redSHOP in general, you have one place for product SKUs. But if you create new fields, you can create one called whatever you want to call it. You can create 10 new fields, 100 new fields of different types. And the second tab in redSHOP is called custom fields. We have a client, this client actually that sells security shoes. When they create new products, they just click new product, they select the product templates that's meant for security shoes. And in the custom fields, they will have all the steel security caps and the regulation signs and everything. So when they get a new product, they enter the price, the product number, and 2 lines of text. Then they go into the custom fields and they click all the way down on all the options that fits that kind of shoe. They click save, and the entire page will be automatically created, and everything is in the right places, logos and hoovers with facts and law dates, and everything's done. So creating a new product is a matter of spending 15 seconds of creating a product, not 30 or 60 minutes trying to get everything into the WYSIWYG window or something like that. So it's a lot easier to work with. You can create any kind of field. I think we have 14 different types of field. I have a client that sells subscriptions for phones online. So if you go into the product page for subscriptions for telephones, you can go in and there's a full form directly built into the product page. So you fill out the form, add it to the cart, and it follows throughout everything in the order too. So
can automatically make POs like for dropship orders.
If we have a simple dropship solution built in. So if you supply a supplier or manufacturer, in the configuration you can enable an option to send a copy of the order to the supplier or the manufacturer, or to both. So that's the simple way of doing it. Alternatively, or today you would, in reality, you would do web services instead. And we do have an XML engine built in redSHOP. We go in and do an XML feed on products, on orders, and you can expose them to external web services, basically.
Is that for import or export?
Both. So if you pick up, like, if you want to do a product feed for Google Base or something, you just go in and create a new product feed for that, pick out the fields you wanted to send out, and you can map all the data. You have all access to the tables in redSHOP, and just give it the new name it should have in the XML file. So it's super easy to do. And if you want to pick out, if you're selling computers, you want to pull in a file from iSCAD with new images and computer stuff, names and whatever, you just get a subscription with iSCAD and you'll get all the new products in automatically. Then you can enrich them. Yeah?
Were you saying that you could actually import external orders in and use it?
Yeah.
Because we have people ask us to do that, and it's not really financially viable for us, but we want to be able to take, like, someone who has a redSHOP with orders happening there, and then someone who's using our eBay integration and the orders are happening there, and be able to pull them in and have them in place.
You can do that. There's a limitation to the XML engine. The XML engine is an attempt to do a system that would fit 90% of needs. So anyone with a small ERP system or something that didn't really have a big budget could get a long way on the XML engine. Of course, if you do high-scale systems, you want to do customized web service, but then you could do new custom profiles that would enable new features in the XML engine. So the XML engine is kind of, let's take something very technical and make it quite accessible, and you can do your mapping yourself, and it solves a lot of problems for people, a lot of solutions. Yeah, I'll wrap it up quickly. Debtor management again, orders, you can create orders from the back end. If you put on a credit card as payment, then people get an email and they click the button, they can pay. So you can pay orders on the phone too, you can do offline orders and all sorts of things. Order management, there's a lot more filtering options in order management in redCRM than there is in redSHOP, because you need to control a lot more orders basically on bigger stores that does more. Yeah. This is the order management. There's a pending product that needs to be ordered. So if you go in here, then you just click in, you get a list of all the pending orders where you need to order whole new products. You can add them to the supplier orders automatically right away. So it's 2 clicks and you're working on your new supplier orders. That's a good way of doing it. Now, what's coming? It aims to be, redCRM aims to be even more scalable. So we want to make it even better, even more. We want even more ERP integrations. Today we're just using economic.com as a slave ERP system, so the accountant is happy. So when you do the yearly booking, he logs into economic, he clicks yearly booking, and we do the report. That's it. So, but we want to integrate a lot more systems. We want to add new statistics, new reporting. We want to do, anything basically. We're quite open and flexible, so good ideas are also welcome. We have redCRM available for Joomla 1.5 on request. It's not a finished solution, but we can work something out. But we hope to have it ready for Joomla 2.5 in the next 3 to 6 months. We need to get redSHOP 1.2 ready for Joomla 2.5 first. And when the new version is ready, we'll do redCRM on top, and then it'll be available like everything else. So think bigger, think Joomla. That's kind of the mantra here. So that was it. Thank you.